Oh yeah, that tile's sexy now, but what's it gonna be like when you're in a long-term relationship with it? Let's talk about choosing tile and just how overwhelming it can be if you have no idea where to start. I have been there, but after doing selections for 4 different rooms in this house, and maybe some more in the future, I have it down to a process, and I thought I'd just share that process with you. Maybe it'll help you out. But at the beginning, I had no idea. I went straight to the store. I brought home way too many samples, and then I was just tearing my hair out. I couldn't figure out where to start. I mean, the first question is, what do you like? And if you have no idea about the answer to that question, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. I mean, maybe set a timer first, but then go to Pinterest, go to House, go to Google Images before you go to the store. Pull that old pile of decorating magazines you've got in the back of the closet out and start ripping out pages. I actually use Notion. I take pictures of pages that I would tear out, and then I keep them all in my decorating tile files so I don't have those messy pages all over the place. But however you do it, just do it. And you'll start to notice something. You'll start to notice that the pages you keep ripping out, or the images that you're collecting on whatever platform, there starts to be a pattern. You start to see the same thing over and over again. Well, that's what you like. And then you can start in on the other questions. Is it important that this tile match the consistency of the rest of your decor scheme throughout your house? Or can you just keep it to this room? Is the door going to be closed and it just doesn't matter what's going on everywhere else? To get specific here, I was recently choosing tile for our mudroom. Be pretty exciting when we have our mudroom.
Super exciting. Be able to sit right here on our bench.
That'll be our bench.
There'll be a bench right here. Shoe area.
And with our mudroom, once you walk into it, you're seeing across to our living area right away. So I really wanted to have that consistency, that flow. I mean, the mudroom is its own space, yet I wanted it to tie in with the rest of the room. So it wasn't this glaring beacon of, oh my gosh, here's where all the dirty shoes are. Oh, I found Brad in the powder room.
Just get my powder on.
Oh, and by the way, if you are looking for floor tiles, then that helps narrow down your search a little bit, because a lot of tiles are not made for floors. They're only made for walls. So make sure you really point that out to whoever you are dealing with at the store. Another consideration for floor tiles, of course, is, are they grippy? You don't want anyone slip sliding around, especially if they're entering into the mudroom with wet shoes on. Next, what shape do you want? What color? What size? For me, I knew I was really attracted to hexagons, and they had to be big hexagons with that big hexagon energy. I'm not doing them anywhere else in the house, so this is their one chance. When the pressure's on, I gotta get it right. So that's 2 out of 3, but the color, that's been a tough one for me. I do want to have a consistency throughout the house, and this one here, it's called Brick Lane. It definitely is ticking a couple of the boxes. And at first I thought, yeah, this is kind of the neutral, restrained color I'm going for here, so it doesn't take away from the vavoom of the living room. But the more I looked at these samples, the more I thought, you know what, this gray here, I think it has a hint of purple in it, and that doesn't go with the rest of what's going on in this house. Another question, polished or matte? For me in the mudroom, I want kind of a matte look. I'm not 1000% committed to that decision, but I do know that I don't want any light bouncing off the tiles up into our eyes when we're in the living room. I don't want the mudroom seeking that much attention. Another question to ask is your tile gonna be the star of the room, or is it gonna play more of a supporting role? In our mudroom, I knew the shape of a hexagon was kind of loud enough. Again, I want the entire mudroom to play a secondary role to our living room. And it's a walk through. There's no doors blocking off this mudroom. It's a flow through space. So once you enter the back door, you immediately see up to the living room. It's all gotta be cohesive. On the other hand, the tile in our primary ensuite, oh my gosh, that is the superstar of this room. This is the wall tile here, but we got matching floor tile as well. So this room is all about the tile. Everything else has to fall in place around it. But once you kind of know your hierarchies of what's the most important thing in your room, it helps you make your selections. And as you tick these boxes and you choose your lane, it gets easier to stay there, even when other things come your way. So this one is a must. Get samples. So really important to bring samples home from the store with you. The online research phase is just the beginning. Then you got to get physical. You got to see this stuff in person, because on a computer, the colors are just never going to be able to tell you what those colors are actually going to look like at home. And even at the store, chances are they will have different lighting at the store than you do at home with your big, beautiful natural windows or your soft lights. It's gonna be different. We're not sponsored by them, but we're getting all our tiles from Ames, a store here in Calgary, and they are amazing about giving out samples. I have way too many. I'm gonna return them, Ames, don't worry, because you're supposed to return them. But it's been great for having them at home, seeing them in the light, holding them up against my other selections for flooring and counters, etc., etc. As you get closer to your decision, time to ask your salesperson, is it in stock? And if not, how long till it gets here? You might want to have a couple of backups, because we all know delays have kind of been a thing in shipping the last couple of years. Most important rule, when in doubt, make one last trip to the store. That's what happened to me. I just wasn't totally 100% on this brick lane tile. Just wasn't sure about the color. When I asked Brad for his opinion, he said,
I'm underwhelmed.
I went back to Ames. They had a whole new display up of these amazing tiles, and I loved them all the color variations, so they were awesome. I went home with samples of every type. I tested them all out in the floor area, even though blue and white is not in our color scheme whatsoever in the house as a whole. They were just good looking. But then I noticed the light really bounces off the ones with the stronger colors on them. And I had already decided that on my checklist. Didn't want light bouncing up into the living room. I knew in my heart this one was the right choice, but it was just so easy to get lured away by these flashier tiles. So I think going through and answering all these questions kind of keep you in your lane, even when a new infatuation comes along and tries to lure you away. If you're working with a contractor, just ask them which store gives them the best discount, and can they pass it along to you? You can make it work, because gotta admit it, price can be a major deciding factor on just so many things. How's the tile decision process going for you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.